back to the channel Traveling After Transplant, and I'm Holly D. And I have gotten some questions and just messages asking me for some tips and tidbits on how to travel after transplant and how I stay healthy while traveling. So I'm going to share some of those with you guys today. But first and foremost, I want to thank my donor and their family, because without my heart donor, I would not be here today. And just a little backstory on that. I was a quick transplant in the transplant world. I became sick in March of 17, and I was transplanted the first week in May of 17. So it was 8 weeks from diagnosis to transplant. So my main question whenever they told me that I needed a transplant is I wanted to talk to somebody who had been through it. I could listen to all the nurses and the doctors and all that, but I wanted somebody who had been through it. So here I am. If you are that kind of person, get ready. Some of this is just stuff that I've picked up here and there. Others are from when I have traveled or done things, and just kind of little quick ways that I have made it easy on myself, just trying to navigate everyday life after a transplant. I am very cautious, and it's kind of always at the forefront of my thoughts, but I do not let it control my life. Sorry, but I don't. I am a teacher, I am a traveler, I am surrounded by germs every day. Even in teaching, I teach special ed, so I do all personal care, feeding, wiping noses, everything. We're right there. So while I'm cautious about it, I don't let it run my life or make it so I can't do things. I just kind of figure out ways to do the things that I love. So the first little tidbit I have is every bag that you have, put a hand sanitizer on. That's my port bag, like my purse that I carry. This is my everyday bag. This is what I carry, like with my keys, an emergency med, my insurance cards, all that. And then I just have a hand sanitizer attached. So that is like my number one way to fight germs and to stay healthy, is that I always have my own hand sanitizer just clipped right onto me. Super handy and easy. And even when I go on cruises, like I have my lanyard, my little lanyard pouch, sorry it's clear, but I have my card in there, and then my hand sanitizer is clipped to it, even though they have like little stations set up all over. This just makes it easy that once I sit down at my table, I can squirt some in my hand and be done with it and not worry about it. Portable hand sanitizer. The next thing that I always do is I've masked. I went to Super Bowl parties, parades, all of the thing. If you're from Kansas City, you know. Right after transplant is when we won the Super Bowl, and I was at all of those events. So I just make sure that I have my 95 masks. I keep them in the plastic until I'm going to use them. So like this one has 5, and then they're like resealable. And then for flights or really, really packed situations, I have like the surgical medical grade masks that I was able to order, and they're individually wrapped. So I just leave them wrapped until I'm going to use them. But these are the ones that I've been using on the airplanes since COVID. So those are super, super handy. And then they're disposable. So when I'm done flying or whatever, I can throw it away. And then I have a new one in a fresh package for the next trip. But that is definitely a good idea, and it's easy. I just throw them in bags. I have them like all over. I'll open a bag and find one. I'm like, yeah. So, yes. And then the next is meds. It is the vein of our existence. Every 12 hours, usually, most transplants have to take medication. And if we miss a dose, rejection can start kicking in. So meds are super, super important. Do not leave home without them. It is always the first thing I pack, and I pack it multiple ways and areas so that if I lose one bag, I have some in another bag. So the first one, even though these are like my weekly medications, it says extra on the bag, but that's because I just came back from a trip and I haven't made a new one. But this is enough for 2 weeks. I have my AM bag and I have my PM bag. just because my medications and dosages aren't the same at both times. So I have them, and then I can just open them or keep it like on my nightstand or dresser or whatever, wherever I get to, and then I just pull one out of the AM and one out of the PM for each day, and then each day's just in a bag. And they're little bags that I got off of Amazon. Super easy and quick. Again, disposable, so I can hurry up and take my med like in the morning at breakfast, and then I just hand it to them to go throw away, or just throw it away like if I'm at a restaurant. But my AMs I also mark with an X. Just make a system so that you know what bag it is, so in case you just throw them in your purse or your pocket, you know that if you're taking the AM or PMs. But then I have this bag made for however many days I am going on my trip, plus the couple, because usually a couple days before or after. And then I just put them in a big, like sandwich size Ziploc is usually what will hold it. And then this goes in either my purse or my backpack that I will be carrying with me, because it's the main meds that I'm going to be working off of while I am gone. So this is always on my person. Backpack, purse, always with me is this one. The next one is 2 weeks, and I leave them in these containers from Dollar Tree. It's just a week's worth, all divvied out, and I do keep them in this. I probably could put them in bags, but I always keep them in this because this 2-week ration of meds is one that I give someone else to carry if I'm traveling with someone. So usually it's like my parents, I'll hand them the bag and then they carry it in their carry-on so that we have it. I do put it in a quart-size Ziploc, and I label it with like my birthday and transplant date and all that kind of thing. In case it gets pulled out at TSA, they can see that they're not my parents' meds, but they are mine, and all the information is there. And then usually I would come over and kind of answer their questions if they get pulled out. We have yet to be pulled over by TSA with someone who is carrying my meds. I've never had to explain it. I've had to explain my ration of meds, but never someone else's. So this is what I give to someone else who is traveling with me. And then, okay, so recap. This is on me, my working bag of meds. My extra 2 weeks dosages are with someone I'm traveling with. Or if I'm not traveling with anyone, I put it in a locked bag and put it in my checked suitcase. Not the best idea, but when you travel solo, you have to think of these things. So it's in a locked bag so that nobody can tamper or mess with them, but they're still in a different spot. I don't put all my meds in the same spot at all. Then also in my backpack, I keep my emergency PRN bag, and it's just in a like luggage pack thing that you pack your clothes in. I've just made it a med one, just because I can scrunch it all down and all that kind of thing. In this bag, I have extra masks. I have COVID tests that they sent out, the little freebie COVID test, just in case. So if I feel icky, I don't have to go into a different med center or anything to get tested. I can test myself prior to that. So that's in there. It's right here. I keep my EpiPens with the prescription just ripped off the box and put on the actual EpiPens. And then my PRN meds are all kind of listed in here. The travel stick, like Gas X, all the ones that I can take, I just have in here and kind of simple so that it's all there. But just to have a stash of meds that we are approved to take as transplants, so like the cold medicines, the nasal saline drops, anything like that. Because if you are out at a foreign port, it is hard to find medications that we are approved to take. So I just have the ones that we are approved to take, and then extra like Tylenol PM, all that in here. In here is also a thermometer, a pulse ox, and a blood pressure cuff. Again, just so I don't have to go in somewhere foreign that I don't know their protocols or anything like that. to check to make sure I'm okay if I'm feeling crummy. I've never had to use them, knock on wood, but they're there in case I need them. And then I could do a quick kind of assessment and figure out where I'm at or if I need to be seen or anything like that prior to it. So that's that bag. So this is in my backpack, and this is either in my backpack or in my purse, usually my purse, so that they are with me at all times. And this I always get pulled over at TSA for to explain, but I usually just say that I'm a heart transplant patient. It's all the medications and PRNs that I have to carry with me, and they let me through. I've never had to like show documentation or anything like that. Usually if they ask for documentation, I just show them my scar, and it's kind of a fast pass to go. So there's medications and what to kind of bring with you. Just make sure you have the things that you are approved to take by your transplant team. So for indigestion, colds, anything like that, allergies, make sure you bring what you can take personally. Another kind of tidbit is, I call them dummy clocks. Just a clock that's battery, so it's not connected to any kind of technology. It'll stay on whatever time you are on. That's an easy way to keep on your 12-hour schedule for your meds. If you have a hard time with like your phone changing over instantly, whenever you travel or anything like that, that's an easy way. I did my first couple trips just so I kept on my schedule and not to get off too much, but you can take it or leave it. But dumb clocks are the easiest way to figure out the 12 hours, and especially to stay on your time like at home. I can now just figure it out because I've traveled so much. But next thing with med kind of thing is my port bag, or that I go with, that's always with me. I have my daily medications, but I also have 2 baggies full of just my rejection medicines. Heaven forbid if I get arrested or I miss the cruise ship or 1.5 million different things. I have enough days of emergency of just the rejection meds in like the side pocket of my purse that I could make it until I get the proper care and resources. Is it a little overkill? Yes, but I would rather be safe than sorry. And then also, if any of my other 3 different stashes come up missing, I always have these as my absolute emergencies. Again, these are just the rejection meds, the tacrolimus and the melfortic. So those are always just in the side pocket of my purse, just in case. Everything is like just in case. I really haven't had that many issues when I travel. So now on to like TSA, airport traveling, all that kind of thing. Let's see. I have it all laid out on my table, sorry. My TSA like quart bag, what I always carry with me is sunblock, my nasal spray thing, because that usually will take care of a lot of allergies, cold, anything like that. Lip balm and sunscreen combined, and then more hand sanitizer. This is what I put through like when you have to take out your thing. This is what I always pull out of my backpack as like my liquids. This is my just in case. I have my motion sickness medicine, anti-throw up kind of stuff. Some extra masks that are individually wrapped. Kleenexes, because I do not trust any Kleenexes or anything out in public. I always use my own. And then like Lysol wipes or disinfectant wipes that you can wipe down whatever area. I am not one that gets in an airplane and wipes everything down. I get in an airplane and I don't touch anything. I don't. I literally just sit down. I'm usually wearing like a jacket or like sweatshirt, fleecy thing, and I just sit there and I wrap up. I don't touch the tray table, anything, so I don't have to wipe it down. I just don't want to touch it. And usually I just fall asleep on a plane anyhow. So these are just in case I need them on the plane. Again, wipes and tissues. I always bring like my own little snacks and stuff that are in packages, gums, all that kind of thing. The first thing I do after going through TSA is grab some kind of drink so that I am always able to take my medications. So TSA, you can't take any of those through. So as soon as I get through TSA, I stop on my way to the gate and I get a bottle of water, a soda, a juice, something that I can go and carry with me so that I always have liquid that is sealed and that I purchased that nobody else has touched, kind of thing. So that I can always take my meds, and I leave that with me for my whole trip. So if I run out of it, then I just get, like, I buy another one out of a soda machine or something, and then I always just have a bottle of water or something with me so that I can take meds, because you never know where you're going to be when meds need to be taken. So that's always kind of my tidbit. I always just throw it in my purse. So I always have a bottle with me. It's not a big bottle, just a little bit, just enough to take meds with or whatever you can get a hold of, but you cannot take any liquids through TSA. So that's just kind of one thing I do. Like in my car and everyday life, I always just have a water bottle with me. But that's kind of it. Another thing I always keep in my backpack on trips is this Turkish towel. It's super lightweight. It's the size of like a beach towel, but it folds down super tiny, like less than the size of my head. So I just always put it at the bottom of my backpack when I travel. This can be used as a blanket. It can be used to dry my hands when all they have in the bathrooms are the air dryers or things that you have to touch. I can just use this and it dries super, super fast. I also use it if I'm on like the plane or something and need to wrap up and I don't have that fleece jacket on. I have it here, and it's just kind of my personal safety space if I need to sit somewhere where it's not so nice. And this was super, super cheap, like $5 or $7 on Amazon, and I have a few extra here at home. So if I find that I need a safe, germ-free space, or need to like set it down on the ground or something, if I don't want to pack it up or wash it when I get home, I can just leave it there. And it's super lightweight, easy to go, easy to dry. Like it dries in like 5 minutes. It's super cool. So yeah, but I think that's kind of like my little tidbits. When I'm in a plane, I usually am traveling with someone, and I always have them sit next to the stranger or the person not in our group, just kind of as a little barrier. I always try to get the back of the plane. I know it's not customary. I try back of the plane, and then like the window or as close to like a side as I can. My thought is just everybody's like coughing and breathing upward, and if I'm at the back, there's less stuff to come over me. And also then you don't get the screaming kids behind you. But that's it. And I'm just not in a rush. I make sure to schedule my times so that I'm not having to rush, because as a heart transplant patient, it takes a long time for our heart rate to get up, but it also takes a really long time for it to come down. So if I'm running to a gate to catch the plane on time, I'm going to be out of wind, and it's going to take me forever to recover from doing the workout. So schedule your times with a lot of space in between if you can. I have a couple times used the like handicap accessible like transfers when it was an airport that I had to go like 3 terminals over, and it was like super short time. I was like, there's no way I can run over there and make it. So I just let the flight attendant know that I needed like a transport between gates, and then that also gives you a little bit extra time so that you don't have to rush as fast. But I usually don't use a lot of those accommodations that I am able to get. I always carry like my disability card with me, but very seldom do I have to use it. Usually if you explain that you've had a heart transplant, they'll kind of work with you. One thing I do have on me at all times is my med ID little like, I guess, band or charm or whatever on my watch. And this is mainly just because of single life. If I'm sick or I'm not able to communicate, people can look, and it has the med ID, and then on the back it has a QR code that if someone scans it, they can get all of my medical information. I think it was made by EMTs so that they could have all of the information there. It has your meds, it has your prior history, all those kind of things. And it's just super quick, especially with phones now, that they just scan the QR code and it goes straight to it. So that's super handy. Found it online. I don't think I even have to pay a registration fee. If I did, it was a one-time deal, like you buy it and you pay for it. And then everything's stored. So it's a really easy kind of forget about it thing that is just a little peace of mind when you're by yourself. As far as like waters and food while I travel, I always try to get sealed drinks. So water, like bottled water, bottled juices, pop, anything like that. I do not drink waters or like the juice mixes or anything like that, especially like in Mexico where they have the big jugs of like juice and drinks that have been sitting out in the heat and stuff all day and just in the container sitting out in the sun. I don't drink those just because I don't know how long they've been sitting out there and kind of the quality. On cruise ships, I try to drink bottled water whenever possible. I have found that it helps reduce the swelling in like my legs and my feet and my hands. And then it also, it's not in any kind of storage tanks or anything like that. Do I always follow it? Not always. I do have drinks that have ice and stuff in them, so it's not a foolproof way, but it's just kind of limiting my exposure by drinking the bottled water versus like the poured water at dinners. I always get the drink package, so like on Carnival, the bottled waters are included. And then as far as food, I tend to stick with warm foods. I don't do a whole lot of salad bars. I don't do a whole lot of just like uncooked things. I try to get all of my food where it's been cooked and warm, and I make sure that the temperature is warm so that it is safe for me to eat. I do the buffets, but again, I use common sense. If it looks like a bunch of grubby little kid hands have been in it or whatever, I skip it and I go on to the next thing. And also a lot of the cruise lines are really, really good about, like if it's getting to be the last of something, I usually I'm like, hey, can I have a fresh pan of the ham or whatever I want, that I'm compromised with my immunity and that it would be safer for me to have that. And usually they oblige and hand me fresh off the new pan or whatever. Or I just sit there and I wait until the new pan comes out, and then I ask whoever is like next in line. I'm like, hey, I've been waiting for that. Can I just skip in here and grab a little bit? And they're usually okay with it. What else? When I'm out on port, I definitely am a lot pickier about what I eat and where it comes from, because you get a lot of like the roadside stands and just like family making it. I use common sense. If it looks safe, the people are clean, the hands are clean, maybe I'll chance it. A lot of times I just don't even eat when I'm at port, or I just bring like packaged snacks or something from the ship. I know you're not supposed to take stuff off the ship, but if I can take 2 slices of bread and like some jelly from breakfast, that'll tide me over till I get back to the ship. But yeah, that's just kind of the precautions. There are times where I'll eat like Puerto Vallarta. They had a buffet out for one of the shows that was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I just asked if I could go first in being served, and they were like, yeah, of course, you can go first. And things like that. So when you're in like a sketchy kind of thing, just ask. But usually I feel safe enough. Just use common sense. If something's not the temperature it's supposed to be, don't keep eating it. And if it looks sketchy, don't get it. But yeah, so that's kind of like just my little tidbits. My main thing is make sure you carry your medications in multiple spots, and that you carry at least double the amount that you may possibly need, especially in today's day and age with quarantines and missed flights and all that kind of thing. You never want to be short. But if you have any other questions, drop them down below and I might make another video. But I just want to make a video of answering questions and kind of giving tips, and definitely wanted to hit on the transplant part of this channel. And again, if you have any questions or anything, let me know, because I don't know what kind of videos you guys want to see or what questions you have. I just tried to kind of answer the ones that I had prior to my transplant. So have a great time. Definitely make those memories and not dreams, because life is short and it's a gift. So live every day like it, and I am blessed by my donor. Have a great night, guys.